Elon Musk recently just became the world's first trillionaire. Meanwhile, there's people out here working full-time jobs, having to monetize every area and every aspect of their life, and they still can't make ends meet. There's people out here that are living in extreme cases of poverty. People wake up every day and they literally don't know where their next meal is going to come from. It's morally wrong that as a society we care more about somebody becoming a trillionaire than we do about making sure everybody's basic human needs are being met. This is absolutely nothing to be proud of. It's not something that we should technically be cheering on. And realistically speaking, I'm not really too sure if y'all realize how much $1 trillion is. Like, Elon can spend $1 million every single day, and he still wouldn't be able to go through all his money in 5,000 lifetimes. Meanwhile, people are literally working themselves to the point of putting their health on the line. People are starving to death, and I quite literally promise you, we don't want to be like him. We don't want to have millions upon billions upon trillions of dollars. We just want to wake up and not struggle like hell to make it through to the next day. We don't want to worry anymore about where our next meal is going to come from. We don't want to worry if we're going to be homeless and out on the streets next month. And I quite literally feel like we as a society might be a little bit too far gone for things to get better.
You're telling me we have a trillionaire now, but my girlfriend who makes $15 fucking an hour makes too much money to get government health care?
Elon's a trillionaire, and my cousin with 3 jobs couldn't afford his medication that thins his blood today. So, congratulations, Elon.
So Elon Musk is now officially a trillionaire. And that's actually insane. It was one thing to be a billionaire with hundreds of billions, but like a trillionaire, there are people who are starving. And I know that this is things that people always say, oh, well, we need to, no, but like literally like having trillions of dollars or a trillion. But people are literally going hungry every single day. People can't eat. Stores are throwing out food because it's going bad, but they also don't want people who are homeless or people who are starving to eat that food for free. People who need healthcare but can't afford it. People who are literally not living in a house when there are all these abandoned buildings and all of these vacant, empty buildings just everywhere throughout the country. Literally, it is actually so crazy that that is what we're having right now. And then they're saying that he is the first trillionaire, which I'm kind of like, I don't really know about that. In my opinion, I feel like the first trillionaire or person with an unquantifiable amount of money was a black man named Mansa Musa. So that's what I'm going to continue to believe for the entirety of my life. But that actually just is so insane to me. Like, especially during the times that we're currently in, it's like, $1 trillion. And I know that it's because of how his companies are valued and all of those things. Like, I know it doesn't just mean he has $1 trillion in cash. I understand that. But still, that is insane. Being a trillionaire and people are starving, people are homeless, people can't afford medical care. People are struggling. We've already come to the realization that a livable wage actually really isn't being paid to most people, even though it's literally called a livable wage, so you should be able to live off of the wages you receive. Federal minimum wage hasn't raised in 20 years. And people who have been working for 60 years, honestly, can't retire. And then Social Security is on its way to basically being depleted and there being no more funds for retirement from Social Security. There are a plethora of issues, honestly, but it just is insane that Elon Musk is now a trillionaire. A trillionaire? Like, come on. We got to help some people. We got to do something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even half of that is $500 billion. Like, we have to figure out something with that.
Monday morning, I want everybody within my the sound of my voice, if you have a 401k that buys from the index, you need to call your 401k company and look and see if they have automatically invested you into SpaceX, and is your 401k carrying SpaceX? And then, if it is, you need to tell them that you want to withdraw from that investment.
Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire has apparently just broken everyone's brain. So let me explain something to you. Just because someone becomes a trillionaire does not mean that they have $1 trillion just sitting around to redistribute to everyone. Not to mention, even if he were to dissolve all of his companies today and redistribute his wealth back into the world, I think some of you are severely overestimating what that would look like. For instance, let's say that Elon was to dissolve his companies and he decided, I'm going to fund the government with my net worth. If he were to dissolve 1.1 trillion of net worth, it would only fund the government for about 57 days, you guys. Or another example, if he decided to dissolve his companies and he was going to redistribute his wealth to every single individual that lives in the United States, 1.1 trillion net worth only equals out to about $3,100 per individual. And I know you guys remember when Joe Biden was giving us those little $2,000 stimulus checks during COVID, that didn't get anybody anywhere. I mean, I'm not saying that $3,100 is absolutely nothing, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is going to pay what, a month or two worth of bills? But honestly, I really think that this is the part that everyone is having a hard time wrapping their heads around. Elon Musk did not earn his wealth by scamming people, by stealing people's money, by defrauding people out of money. He amassed that sort of wealth by creating goods and services that people either needed or wanted to buy. Like, y'all are so mad that people like Jeff Bezos exist, but yet your main source of serotonin is your impulse buys from Amazon. Y'all are so mad that people like Zuckerberg exist, but none of y'all are deleting Instagram because how will anyone know how hot you are if you can't post selfies on the internet? Y'all are so mad at the fact that millionaires and billionaires and now trillionaires exist without acknowledging the fact that they cannot exist without the consumer. The fact of the matter is that no matter what tax bracket we are talking about, there are givers and there are takers in this world. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg are takers. They have taken more from the world than they have given back. Meanwhile, Elon barely turns a profit at any of his companies, and yet he is giving back things like autonomy to people through Neuralink, like communication to people who would never have that kind of reach through Starlink. He has allowed people with disabilities who may not have been able to previously drive cars the ability to navigate the world through his self-driving cars. I mean, he responded to the people in North Carolina who were flooded out and had no communication before our federal government ever did. He rescued astronauts from space before our federal government ever did. You cannot say that Elon takes more than he gives back from the world. And you guys are also forgetting the fact that Elon becoming a trillionaire today also created about 5,000 plus new millionaires. And for those of you that are complaining, how many millionaires has Elizabeth Warren created? How many millionaires has Bernie Sanders or Gavin Newsom created? How many millionaires have Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg created? Zero. None of the people complaining about Elon being a trillionaire have brought anybody else along for the ride with them. They have not brought anybody else with them. They have created wealth for themselves and themselves only. But they want you to believe that your biggest problem is Elon Musk. Give me a break.
Rich people only say money doesn't buy happiness after they bought everything they could ever want. Obviously, it's not going to buy you happiness anymore. You finished happiness. Happiness as an emotion, you finished it. You maxed it out.
Without question.
I got some terrible news for you. There was some good news, but this is some terrible news for Elon Musk. You know, he finally became a trillionaire. He became the world's first trillionaire in history. But for some people, it don't sit right for some people. And you want to know what's the crazy thing? A lot of people are starting to state that him becoming a trillionaire is starting to ruin their lives. And the reason why they're stating that it's ruining their lives, they're starting to state that it's because of various reasons. They had a couple of them. I'm going to share with y'all some reasons that they explained. They said one of the reasons is because how did he reach $1 trillion? How was that even possible? And then they want to know how you sleep at night. Whereas people around the world that can't afford a house, can't afford a car, can't afford to put food on the table, but he has $1 trillion. And it seems to not sit right with people. But in my opinion, I feel like it's deja vu. The same thing over and over. I'm really having mixed emotions about it because I really don't care about it. But I want to know what's y'all opinion on it. How does it affect you? Do it affect you in a major way or a little way? That's what I want to know. And I get the frustration because it is a lot of things that's going on. And you're trying to question everything like, how is this fair? I don't even have $1,000 in my account. And Elon Musk got $1 trillion. And I remember back in the day when I used to be in math class, and we used to always talk about the millions, the billions, and trillions. And a lot of people thought that nobody would never become a trillionaire. He has enough money to give his family money, millions of dollars. And they'll still say it's not enough because he's a trillionaire. That's how I go. And the economy is continuing to collapse. So that's what a lot of people want to know. Can he look himself in the mirror knowing that he got $1 trillion and there's people out here starving? It reminds me of that Tupac interview when he was stating that, can you imagine having a house with 50 rooms? What you need all those rooms for? All you need is one room. And there's people out here that's suffering that don't even have one room. And I guess some people think it's just going overboard, having all that money. But in reality, it's like, it is tough times out here. And Americans don't know what to do. And people are just tired of working. That's what it really is. People really just tired of working and working to just survive. People want to work to live. People tired of getting paid just to be broke a day later. And some people, they're not even broke a day later. Some people broke before they even get their check. And that's the crazy thing. And I didn't know this would be a big disaster for a lot of people. Elon Musk's net worth, his new net worth, and half of those rich people be worth more than that. They just don't reveal it. And it's just sad. It is sad though. You and me both. We can't afford nothing. But there's people out here with trillions and gazillions of dollars while we have nothing. Make that make sense. This world doesn't make sense. It's a cold world. And I want to know what y'all think about this this situation. Like I was saying earlier, if it affects you, leave it in the comments. If it don't affect you, leave it in the comments. That's my take on this situation. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.